She's a grifter by not believing in her documentary and running off with crowdfunded money but not finishing it. She put out. Okay, so let's go back into Anita Sarkeesian's past. So Anita Sarkeesian, and then we'll do crowdfunding. Nebula, funded by a successful Kickstarter campaign, supporters of the 6,900 state backers. The series aims to examine sexist patterns. So we'll go on to Kickstarter. See if we're still there. Okay, whatever. We reached our initial funding goal in 24 hours. Next, we achieve our first stretch goals. Okay. The project. She didn't finish the series, right? I think we got to episode 8. The Miss Milk. I think we got to episode 8 before. So out of 11 videos, she did 8, or she did 12. So did not finish the series. Absolutely true. But if I may be so bold as to extrapolate on some things, she was getting death threats constantly. Like I showed you guys how she went on like Stephen Colbert was talking about. She was getting death threats. She's getting all these things too. So I think it's a possibility now that after doing 8 videos on this and people continuously trying to fucking say they're going to kill you, probably not going to finish the project either. Like I wouldn't. Like if I'm being real, like I wouldn't fucking finish it either. If motherfuckers for every video I put out were trying to send me bomb threats and send bomb threats to my speaking engagements, yeah, I'd probably fall out of the public eye for a bit too. Does she have an actual player service frequency? Let's see. Queer tropes. Frequency. Conversations pop. Okay, so this has 11 videos. But she put out fucking 11 videos. Okay, you guys. She put out 11 out of the fucking 12 videos promised. Come on, dude. We have Damsels in Distress. We have Miss Mail. Woman is Back on Decoration. Woman has Rewards. Jade. And the site positive female characters. But maybe because she split some videos. She didn't finish, but she did more than come on. I think we're being a little bit too fucking hard on someone who was going through people trying to fucking kill them on the internet still to this day. I feel like I would cut someone some slack on that. Like, am I tweaking? I feel like if people were consistently sending me death threats after I put out like fucking 11 videos on this topic, I'd be like, all right, Ferris, I'm a woman. You guys are trying to kill me. I'm gonna dip out. But no, but so like people are like saying like, oh, she's a grifter, she ran. And another thing they're talking about is like, oh, she went to the UN. 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 It's like, what did she go to the UN for? Like, what did she she actually go there for? Testified at the United Nations about online harassment. So I want to see if we can find this video, because I really am tired of people talking about this shit. And so their framing is Anita Sarkeesian. Oh my god, dude! Speech about how the UN should censor internet so feminists aren't offended. Do you see how they frame this shit? And it's like they were getting death threats.
Very individual level. Let's talk to Anita and Zoe. Zoe, perhaps.
Let's see this shit.
In your personal and work environment, what have you witnessed as being most effective in addressing this kind of violence against women?
Who works in tech and somebody who runs Crash Override Network, and
also they made it seem like she was in front of like fucking delegates at the UN demanding that everyone who was talking bad about her gets fucking killed, and not just like a small room of like a bunch of women talking about this shit.
I think the only
like a summit
direct victims assistance and crisis center for people who are currently under online abuse, as well as a victims advocate group. We've handled I think over 1,000 cases since we launched in January, and we're staffed entirely by people who have been through this. We deal a lot with triage, so people come to us when things have already gotten to the worst. And I can tell you right now that one of the most effective things we see is an active and humane response on tech partners' side. That is one of the most effective things, and it's also often sorely lacking. This requires proper moderation, which takes into account things like intersectional feminism. So terms of service taking into effect things like the fact that trans women often face a very specific type of violence called dead naming, where people post pre-transition names in an effort to intimidate, harass, and endanger their lives.
What part of that was wrong, by the way? Mind you, she's talking about trans women being, or trans people being dead named. This is the video from what, 2015? What, so far, what did she say that's not been happening then and now?
Things like they need to be trained in things like the way domestic violence can manifest online, because the viral nature of the internet can take all of the goodness about things like marketing, things like grassroots activism, and apply it to domestic abuse just as easily as you saw in my case. Or maybe you didn't, but yeah. Well-trained responders, and that's not just in tech companies, but as well as law enforcement. That don't end up re-victimizing the person dealing with this, as is so common in domestic abuse and other sorts of abuse, which is also, again, not often found. And supportive social networks that don't downplay what's happening, that don't tell them to just get offline and hide, which we've seen in cases like Kathy Sierra's, doesn't actually even work. This is both friends, this is family, especially.
The difference is back then, cyberbullying was viewed as a meme. Not even really that, to be honest, but even so, she's talking about this shit over a decade ago. And because people viewed it as a meme, look at where we are now. You have doxing happening on the regular. You have people dead naming people left and right. You have just people acting so fucking insane on the internet because there's no repercussions for them. You can draw a straight line between this and the fucking deep fakes. Right? You can draw a straight line between this and people using AI to put like imagine if Gamergate happened right now. Imagine if Gamergate happened right now. You would see Zoe Quinn, you would see Anita Sarkeesian, a bunch of AI pictures of them in compromising positions, them being doxxed, full addresses, everything. You'd see people commenting on it, because remember, another thing too is there is now a cottage industry of misogyny based in part because of what happened in Gamergate. There are people who cut their teeth in Gamergate. Grums is a Gamergater. Grums is from the Gamergate era. That's where he got his big shit online. Same thing with Sargon of Akkad. Same thing with Thunderfoot. They were popping off during that because of this shit. Imagine this happened now. Look at what happened with the Amber Heard trial. Like, imagine if this should happen today. Gee, the only saving grace for these two is that this happened in 2014 and not 2024.
People who are supervising children, trying to take away their internet access can take away their only support networks, and is actually quite damaging.
That line right there, by the way, is literally the COSA Act. This, what she's talking about, right? Like, this shit, that's what I'm saying too. Like, this shit didn't come out of nowhere. Don't know if it was bigger before I think Gamergate ended him, but no. Gamergate absolutely did not end Thunderfoot. Thunderfoot was putting out that feminist versus like series, and he was getting like almost 1 million views on that. Like, no, that did not. That Thunderfoot's over now. Because now he's going to be talking about space, but Thunderfoot was getting fucking views, bro. Like millions, like literally 1 million views. Like, he was getting millions of views, like almost per video. Like, especially when it came to Anita Sarkeesian, 2 million views, dog. Sorry, not this one. When it came to Anita Sarkeesian, he was eating off of her. 1 million views. He was eating off of Anita Sarkeesian. Trust me, I was there, okay? When I tell you guys that I was there during Gamergate, and I own up to this, I wasn't on the sidelines. I saw this shit happening live. I just wasn't harassing people. I saw this shit. I saw him going into the Google Hangouts, him and Sargon Nichols and Milo Yiannopoulos. I was literally there. I spoke to Milo. It was crazy. People thought they were like rock stars trying to get, like, I'm telling you, that shit did not hurt him. He profited heavily off that. All of them did.
Employers, because a crucial part of online abuse is often the target will be inundated with requests to be fired from their employer.
You didn't think I was in that deep? I was not. I'm being truthful. I was not out here sending harassing messages to Anita Sarkeesian or Zoe Quinn. What I was doing, though, was uncritically looking at information and going, this must be true. They must have a cabal against us gamers. Like I said in my video before, because the gamer identity was being attacked, I had to protect my identity as a gamer. So I was like, yeah, they're violating the ethics in games journalism by, you know, she's sleeping her way to the top and this and that. It's not fair that she got a good review for her game, but other developers work hard in their game and they don't get a shot to get reviewed. Like that's what I was told. That's what I was sold, right? And I was uncritical of that because it just made sense. Gamers are always on the outs, so it makes sense that people are attacking us. But then when my brain started actually fucking working, I was like, this is insane. Like, Zoe was never an issue while Anita was an issue. What are you talking about? Zoe Quinn, in some ways, got it worse than Anita because Zoe Quinn had her nude photos looked everywhere. Like, people started talking about her, like, I think she used to do sex work. And so then they just started plastering that everywhere over and over and over and over and over. In a way to harm her. You know about that? Yes. Well, again, when I tell you guys about Gamergate, I was not removed from it. I knew all the shit happening there. I was there when Brianna Wu started injecting herself in the conversation. I was there for Zoe. They also went after Jade Raymond. They started going after just every woman in gaming. It was an insane fucking time. The journalism ethic was live from the start. I know that now. What I'm saying, though, is when it was happening, it was an easy lie to believe. Like, if I told you guys that, like, the government is monitoring our interactions in order to make us more docile, that sounds believable. I mean, low-key is true, but that sounds believable. But if I start from there, and then I start to tell you, and this is why you have to drink my special drink to protect your brain, I'm a grifter. I'm lying to you. But you've already bought into so much. It makes it harder to be critical. That's why I understand when people who are anti-woke find it so hard to believe in, like, the fact that there's not this huge cabal, because they're in deep. They need to be shocked away. Like, hey, you're falling for propaganda. You're falling for propaganda. That's why I consistently talk about those topics. These people are falling for propaganda. They, again, with mixtape, they're saying, oh my God, this main character is trans, it's DEI and spoken. It's like, you're falling for propaganda. Like, we're not gonna even go into the transphobia part of this, but you're falling for propaganda because this is not what the game's about. But you're willing to believe that because it's more convenient to.
Mental health professionals, because oftentimes these sort of things will not be taken seriously. One of my own agents, I had to call his healthcare provider because they thought he was schizophrenic, that people like me didn't exist, and that a bunch of anonymous people doing this to somebody wasn't possible. In terms of prevention, education about even just digital self-defense, since we are so far behind on this issue, can keep people safe, whether that's training people on what doxing is, which is when people find your home address and post it online,
yes,
encouraging further action against you or to intimidate and harass you. Things like swatting, where people call in false police reports to your local department, hoping that
it's so crazy. This has been an issue for almost for over a decade, actually.
Further. Just basic things like digital security. A lot of people probably, maybe even in this room, probably still use the same password for everything. And in 2015, we have no excuse to keep doing that. We also need to see, again, these effective terms of service that take all of the different ways that different people from different layers of marginalization or geographical location.
I mean, Zoe Queen never deserved the hate she got, and Anita didn't deserve most of the hate she got, but she was a problem to some degree. You know what? Honestly, I don't even think she was a problem. I think some of her takes weren't good, but that wouldn't qualify to me a problem. Because, like, what did her impact do? Right? That's what I look at it. What is someone's impact on this? If you're just like annoying, whatever. Like Steve Bannon was a problem because he fucking took Gamergate and turned them to the alt-right. Like that's a problem. Like I guess for me, I don't consider it a problem. Like that, it's like the big content creators in this space who push like alt-right rhetoric, that is a problem to me. But if you're like Wagner knows why, you're just an idiot who's annoying and I can dunk on you. But like, I don't see that as a problem. You know what I mean? Like the outcome is like, he's not fucking anything. Like Anita Sarkeesian's impact was what? A lot of these losers would say she ruined video games, but they also said women in general ruin video games. They're also saying queer people are ruining video games. So many people are ruining games. So if everyone's ruining it, what was her impact? Right?
Experience online harassment. We need people that are actually belonging to these demographics working in these departments, so it's not just an echo chamber of a bunch of people that are already in tech deciding what happens to the rest of us.
I got a forehead.
Proper legislation that talks to people like me and people that live on and work online, that doesn't destroy vital things like anonymity, which may seem like a big, bad, scary thing since a lot of people do use it for harmful purposes, but it's also the thing that protects activists like me. It's the thing that protects people that have mental illness.
Oh, she said activist. That's going to trigger people.
From the stigma that speaking out about it comes with, so that they can find community. It's a thing that helps people that are discovering their own gender identities and their own sexualities talk with other people without fear of reprisal, and often violent reprisal. So making sure that people who live and work online and understand these nuances are involved with every step of this is crucial. Otherwise, we'll see more embarrassing statements about series of tubes in governmental bodies.
And you know what's crazy about what she just said? Because nothing she said was wrong. In fact, Zoe Quinn was spinning 100%. Side note, she said, oh, a series of tubes. Do you guys remember when they were trying to get TikTok either banned or given to an American company? And that one guy was like basically asking how TikTok worked. Like that's what she was talking about 10 years ago. Well, actually 11 years ago. We are not up to date with anything happening online, and the people who should be responsible for that are so out of the loop that they refer to this shit as a series of tubes. Like, what is a TikTok? How does TikTok work? Like, it's insane.
We need people to actually enforce their own terms of service and shut down bad actors, bad websites. There are numerous places that host non-consensual pornography and make a profit off of this. There are individuals on services like YouTube that have made a living off of abusing people like Anita and I, who monetize this.
Yes, the internet is a series of tubes. It's like, you don't know how to fucking... Like, what are you talking about?
See the mobs who aren't anonymous, who raise their funds this way to continue attacking, stalking, and harassing us because it's a cottage industry at this point. And all of these things need to be taken into account and might be difficult to understand from the outside. So if there's one takeaway from all that I can push for is please involve people who are in tech doing this work already in every step of the way. It requires all of our... like so many different prongs. The three-pronged approach is absolutely correct.
There's a series of tubes, but that doesn't matter. That doesn't matter. You shouldn't be referring to the internet as a series of tubes. That doesn't fix anything. That's not addressing anything. Like if someone was talking about people using online video games in order to spread hateful messages like alt-right rhetoric, and you'd be like, "Oh, video games. Well, that's just a series of polygons." Oh, okay. You're kind of missing the forest for the trees here, but all right.
It just involving tech literacy at every level is super important to make sure we don't move in a wrong direction and with the best intentions at heart.
Very well put. Like, honestly, yes. Somewhat prescient unfortunately, Zoe Quinn from 2015, your ears, their ears were open, but they retained nothing. Okay. What's that one meme from Chrono Trigger? Where it's like, you get the bad endings, like, but they didn't listen.
So Zoe, you established a sort of peer-to-peer counseling group, and the word that came
let's
out
get
at me
to-
was humane.
Let's get to
You would
Anita,
assume most peer-to-peer
because that's
counseling
Zoe
would
Quinn. Let's
have
get to
this,
Anita,
right?
because their whole beef was Anita, right?
On these issues.
Yeah, so Feminist Frequency is a nonprofit that I run where we look at the way women are represented in the media. And by doing this work, I have been the target for 3 years nonstop of egregious online harassment in all levels. I think it's important to recognize that harassment is, as someone had mentioned, it's not just what is legal and illegal, right? Harassment is threats of violence, but it's also the day-to-day grind of you're a liar, you suck, you know, making all of these hate videos to attack us on a regular basis, and the mobs that come from those hate videos, etc. And
Yes.
so, you know, I've spent a lot of time thinking about online harassment and what we can do about it. And I think something that's really important to understand is that, you know, we know this, but I think it's worth saying that sexism and misogyny did not start with the internet, right? It's been around for a long time, and feminists for decades have been challenging these male-dominated systems. So what we're seeing is that the internet is providing new ways to commit the same types of violence, right? And so understanding that this is a cultural, that we really need to see a big cultural shift in how we deal with this, and we can take note from activists that have been doing this work previously or have continued to do this work while acknowledging how technology is changing the face of current day sexism and misogyny. So creating a cultural shift, I think, takes a great number of approaches, and we've been hearing a lot about systemic change, and that makes me really happy because I think that that's really how we have to do this. And so one of those approaches is, I think that the online social media sites and the places in which we are engaging on these large platforms really need to step up and change the way that their systems operate. So it's not enough that they simply put Band-Aids on the problem areas, that they need to completely reimagine what their systems look like in order to build sites that actively deter online harassment, that make it harder to do this. We're not going to go and convince every single person who does horrible things online to stop doing those things, but we can make systems that actively deter that kind of behavior, which would make a huge impact on the lives of me and so many other people who are being harassed online. So what we have right now is women are forced to build a fortress around themselves with the measly tools that we have online. And so we are being punished for people harassing us and, you know, yes, period. And I think that that's a really big problem. And so we need to really think about how we create this larger cultural shift, taking into consideration society at large, taking into consideration tech platforms, taking into consideration laws, so that people, like all people, can engage online and fully participate without fear of intimidation and violence.
And so now you heard, I didn't speak for a particular reason, right? I want you guys to hear uninterrupted. This was what she did. And you see everyone frame this as she went to the UN so she could get them to silence her critics. She's talking about harassment, but do you see how they conflate harassment with criticism and how that still continues to this day? These motherfuckers will be like, you just can't handle criticism. Dog, you're calling me a monkey and saying I'm chimping out. What criticism is being levied against me here? Oh, you're a progressive pro-feminist. Again, what is the criticism being labeled here? Oh, you don't like the way my hair looks. You want to, again, talk about my race. What criticism is being leveled here? It's not. It's harassment. It's racially, in my example, it's racially charged harassment. For them, it's sexism. It's bigotry. It's nothing but harassment. But they conflate that with being critiqued. Well, they argue that being called a liar isn't harassment when you put stuff on YouTube. You can be called a liar and still be harassed, especially if what you're saying is not a lie, right? Like, I call Vera Dark a liar because I have provably shown that she lies. I have provably shown that Rev says Des lies. I've provably shown the people that I talk about are liars. I consistently and provably show that. I show their dishonesty by live reacting, showing examples, counterpoints, interrogating their logic, right? They just make video. Like, again, this came out 2015, and look at how he framed it. Anis Sarkeesian, known for fighting against the damsel in distress cliche. That cliche is exactly what's happening in this video. And Zoe Quinn, known for sleeping with reviewers to get good score in her games, give a speech about how the UN should censor internet so feminists aren't offended. This is an objective lie. Like, this is objectively a lie. Nothing of what they said here is true. Besides the fact that their name is Anita and their name's Zoe and they were at the UN. Everything else is a lie. Quinn calls the suicide and false accusation. You're sad people are mean? Well, I'm sorry, the world is one big liberal arts campus college. Reality. People, how have we allowed these babysitters to be our bosses? Did she just say that trans women that are called their old names threaten their lives? Yes. It's true. And this is from years ago. Meanwhile, Ethiopia, what the fuck? Oh, the whataboutism. The whataboutism. With all the bad shit going on in the world, they could have gone there and made a GMO case for the women and children who wake up without their homes. That's not what they were there for. That is not what they were there for. That is not what they were there for, dude. That's such a stupid fucking comment. I know you were asked, speaking from the committee, about using new technologies to improve people's lives, but why weren't you talking about world hunger? Because they brought me in to talk about this very specific thing that I'm interested in, and that I do. Why would they bring in Anita Sarkeesian and Zoe Quinn to talk about people who are homeless? Why the fuck would they bring them there? Notice how there are so many women and no men. Yeah, it's because this is about women. Like, and again, this happened years ago, but this is the mindset that still dominates the conversation today. So when you see people like Grums saying that she went to the UN, she spoke at the UN and made money consulting for studios. First off, that's not a bad thing. Secondly, she went to the UN to specifically talk about harassment. Like, holy shit, dude. We never had a reckoning. No, we didn't. It's like, it's so infuriating. I kept seeing people say that shit. That was even in my own comment section. People were talking about, well, she didn't do this and she didn't do that. And it's like, you don't even know what you're talking about. Like, you weren't there. Like, they weren't there. Oh, we're Anita Sarkeesian. You weren't fucking there. I know you weren't there because I was. And it's not even something I'm like proud of, but like I was there. And to see people going like, oh, you just don't get it. There's just also this one guy, like look at this shit, dude. Bro, you picked the wrong side. You don't understand shit. I don't understand what was happening during this when I was there. Unfortunately, she was an activist hired by New World Order Group, which led by the UN Council to spread propaganda of how bad. Like, do you see how this is just a complete fucking fiction? I can't even finish this. It's just so stupid. This is how you lose respect of people on the internet. You're literally defending someone who scammed over $100,000 in Kickstarter funds. She's proven time and time. Like, that never happened. That never happened. Lose the respect of you dumbasses? I never wanted your respect. I just showed you guys how this did not happen. She produced 8 videos. She didn't scam anyone out of $100,000. She produced the content. And then she got super fucking harassed. I'm glad you're supporting someone who took over $150,000 in Kickstarter money and ran off without ever finishing what she promised. Things like you see that, like, this is none of this is what happened. None of it. None of it. But again, because these people are insanely misogynist and brain broken, they just run with it. Do you think they even saw an episode of Feminist Frequency? Did they look at the Kickstarter? Did they go to her fucking page? No. Did they do the research I just did? Did they look at the UN speech? Of course they didn't. You're stupid as hell if you don't recognize the damage she caused. Do they ever give examples of the damage she caused? No. Like it's so insane. It's so insane. It's so fucking insane to me. Nah, she should have never had influence in our space. In your space. This is the dumbest thing I've watched today. You need to be evaluated in the circles of people you hang out with. Your mind is effed. Yes. I'm insane. My mind is fucked. Like, this is the world. And this dude right here, 10 years after the fact, nothing of value was given to the media. If anything, more things bombed. She doesn't get enough hate, honestly. All of the defenses of her are weak. Just a bunch of smug whataboutism while still being wrong and shocked that people still don't like them. I just said you're a loser. Like, no point engaging in that. No one can give me specifics. No one can tell you how Anita Sarkeesian ruined video games. They can't, because it never happened. They can't argue any of their points. I can argue the fuck out of my points. I can back up my statements. I can provide visual evidence. I literally show people in every video I make when I talk about these topics exactly the reasoning. In this video, for example, I said if she ruined video games, why is Slay the Spire 2 a massive success? If her inclusion is a death sentence, why did the game succeed? Pick me, I'm a good boy. Like, I don't want to support someone who constantly accused me of something I didn't do. Look, what are you talking about? Like, and these are the majority of the comments I got. Like, holy shit, dude. And this was just people going out of their way. There's one guy who's been doing this shit for like fucking like 30 days now, it feels like. Where is he at? This guy's literally like, he's just been going. He just keeps going. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, Chris, you literally have no reason to be angry at Anita. Her entire well-documented history as an activist is the reason. She made an entire career off of trying to influence and subvert the culture within the game industry. This lady gave a UN speech on how to do so. No, she didn't. No, she didn't. Like, it just drives me insane. We're in just an age of people can just fucking lie, bro. Lying is so OP. They are so residually mad at this woman whose worst thing she did was just have bad takes on the internet. That's it. She had bad takes and then she got harassed for it. That's the truth of it. No matter how anyone tries to spin it, Anita Sarkeesian was a woman with bad takes and then people harassed the shit out of her to the point where the news got a hold of it. That's what happened. That was the long and short end of it. She got harassed for having bad taste about video games. She made videos you guys didn't like, and so you doxed her, and you sent her bomb threats, and then you continuously talked about her for almost over a decade. And then that's where we're at. Whereas now she's this mythical creature who was invited to the UN. Again, we saw the video. By the way, nothing neither Anita or Zoe said in the video was wrong at fucking all. Not a single word was wrong. Because look at where we are now. They were right then and they're right now. And even if Anita's takes were bad back then, they've sure have shit become more important now. They've become more prescient now. Like, it's insane. And with this guy, I think this guy needs mental health. Like, he says that shit, right? And then the response here is by Katie is, she's such an activist. She literally put no activists in her game. So the only thing you can matter is her name appears. I bet you signed the free Celebrate petition as well, didn't you? And then his response was, my point went right over your head. That's like an ex-convict politely opening a door for someone and thinking he's a nice person despite his long rap sheet of multiple rape charges. What? How is that remotely the same? How is that remotely the same? How is Anita Sarkeesian being a part of Slay the Spire like an ex-convict holding the door and you thinking they're nice, but they have rape charges? What the fuck are you talking? My brain hurts all the time. Maybe my mind is fucked, like guy said, but not because of why they think. It's because of shit like this. It is the incessant spewing of just bullshit. It is people who are incapable of having coherent thoughts, just going off. Like going off the deep end. And I have to sit here and try to parse through what they're fucking trying to say. And I feel like sometimes I feel like a complete moron because I'm literally going like, what? Like, is my brain not working? Am I tweaking? Like, am I the problem?